Today is February 14th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today on the Big Book, we are on Chapter 3, More About Alcoholism. We'll be reading page 34. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 5. We'll read page 56. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. It's Saturday and it's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I got to sleep in an extra hour today, so I'm living on the edge with my giant cup of coffee here. So life is good. Most important thing is that I woke up sober, so yeah, life is definitely good. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. All right, my friends, so out of the Big Book, we're on More About Alcoholism. We'll be reading page 34. As we look back, we feel that we have gone on drinking many years beyond the point where we could quit on our own willpower. If anyone questions whether he entered this dangerous area, let him try leaving liquor alone for a year. If he is a real alcoholic and very far advanced, there's scant chance of success. In the early days of our drinking, we occasionally remained sober for a year or more, becoming serious drinkers again later. Though you may be able to stop for a considerable period, you may yet be a potential alcoholic. We think few to whom this book will appeal can stay dry anything like a year. Some will be drunk the day after making the resolutions, most of them within a few weeks. For those who are unable to drink moderately, the question is how to stop altogether. We are assuming, of course, that the reader desires to stop. Whether such a person can quit upon a non-spiritual basis depends upon the extent to which he's already lost the power to choose whether he will drink or not. Many of us felt that we had plenty of character. There was a tremendous urge to cease forever. Yet we found it impossible. This is the baffling feature of alcoholism as we know it. This utter inability to leave it alone, no matter how great the necessity or wish. How then shall we help our readers determine to their own satisfaction whether they're one of us? The experiment of quitting for a period of time will be helpful, but we think we can render an even greater service to alcoholic sufferers and perhaps to the medical fraternity. So we shall describe some of the mental states that precede a relapse into drinking. For obviously, this is the crux of the problem. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 5. Admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And if you recall from yesterday's reading, in Step 5, we were talking about picking that right person that has an understanding and trustworthy quality about them. Says so far as alcoholics are concerned, AA would go even further. Most of us would declare that without a fearless admission of our defects to another human being, we couldn't stay sober. It seems plain that the grace of God will not enter or expel our destructive obsessions until we're willing to try this. So we're going to continue that thought on page 57. What are we likely to receive from Step 5? For one thing, we shall get rid of that terrible sense of isolation we've always had. Almost without exception, alcoholics are tortured by loneliness. Even before our drinking got bad and people began to cut us off, nearly all of us suffered the feeling that we didn't quite belong. Either we were shy and dared not draw near to others, or we were apt to be noisy good fellows craving attention and companionship but never getting it. At least to our way of thinking. There was always that mysterious barrier that we could neither surmount nor understand. It was as if we were actors on a stage, suddenly realizing that we didn't know a single line of our parts. That's one reason we loved alcohol too well. It did let us act extemporaneously. But even Bacchus boomeranged on us. We were finally struck down and left in terrified loneliness. When we reached AA, and for the first time in our lives stood among people who seemed to understand, the sense of belonging was tremendously exciting. We thought that the isolation problem had been solved. But soon we discovered that while we weren't alone anymore in a social sense, we still suffered many of the old pangs of anxious apartness. Until we had talked with complete candor of our conflicts and had listened to someone else do the same thing, we still didn't belong. Step 5 was the answer. It was the beginning of true kinship with man and God. "24 hours a day, February 14th. AA thought for the day. After that first drink, we had a single-track mind. It was like a railroad train. The first drink started it off and it kept going on a single track until it got to the end of the line. Drunkenness. We alcoholics knew this was the inevitable result when we took that first drink. But still, we couldn't keep away from liquor. Our willpower was gone. We become helpless and hopeless before the power of alcohol. It's not the second drink or the 10th drink that does the damage. It's the first drink. Will I ever take that first drink again? Meditation for the day. I must keep a time apart with God every day. Gradually, I will be transformed mentally and spiritually. It is not the praying so much as being in God's presence. The strengthening and the curative powers of this I cannot understand, because such knowledge is beyond human understanding. But I can experience them. The poor, sick world would be cured if every day each soul waited before God for the inspiration to live right. My greatest spiritual growth occurs in this time apart with God. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may faithfully keep a quiet time apart with God. I pray that I may grow spiritually each day. Daily Reflection, February 14th. Expectations versus demands. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trust in God and clean house. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 98. Dealing with expectations is a frequent topic at meetings. It isn't wrong to expect progress of myself, good things from life, or decent treatment from others. Where I get into trouble is when my expectations become demands. I will fall short of what I wish to be, and situations will go in ways I don't like, because people will let me down sometimes. The only question is, what am I going to do about it? Wallow in self-pity or anger? Retaliate and make a bad situation worse? Or will I trust in God's power to bring blessings on the messes in which I find myself? Will I ask Him what I should be learning? Do I keep on doing the right things that I know how to do, no matter what? Do I take time to share my faith and blessings with others? All right, my friends, man, some great stuff. Oh, it's really hard to just pick one or two to talk about, but real quick, the 12 and 12, page 57, man, this describes me so much. You know, I kind of wish that I read this before I became an alcoholic. Maybe I would have prevented a few things from happening. I don't know. But it is what it is. But I love this. Even before our drinking got bad and people began to cut us off, nearly all of us suffered that feeling that we didn't quite belong. Either we were shy, that was me, I was a shy guy, and dared not draw near others, or were apt to be noisy goodfellows craving attention or companionship but never getting it. Ever since I could remember, and I'm not going to psychoanalyze why or try to figure out why I felt this way, but ever since I was a little kid, I always felt that I didn't quite belong. I always felt that I was different, socially awkward, or whatever you want to say. And then, whether I was or not, because I thought I was, I became that self-fulfilling prophecy. I would act awkward and, or overcompensate or whatever. And then when I would drink, oh my goodness, all of a sudden I didn't really seem to care so much about what other people thought. it gave me that false sense of peace, I guess, for a little while. I mean, it numbed everything. And all of a sudden, I was having a good time, you know? Of course, we all know for alcoholics, it eventually turns. And it certainly turned on me. And then I can relate to the bottom of this page. When we reached AA and for the first time in our lives stood among people who seemed to understand, the sense of belonging was tremendously exciting. That was my experience. When I first came into the rooms, it was nothing like what I thought it would be. I was listening to people for the first time, being truly honest and vulnerable, talking about their struggles, and they were saying some of the same things about alcohol and just being a human that I struggled with. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is it. I finally belong somewhere. And that is a beautiful feeling when you feel like you finally belong with a certain group of people, right? And you feel accepted for who you are. But then it says in this follow-up line, we thought that the isolation problem had been solved. But we soon discovered that while we weren't alone anymore in a social sense, we still suffered many of the old pangs of anxious apartness. Now, I don't know if I've ever shared this, but my first, I'd say, year, roughly, I was just doing the fellowship. And for a while, I'd say probably at least 90 days, I had that pink cloud kind of experience where, oh man, I feel like the fellowship is the answer, and you know, I feel so good about things, and I just want to keep coming back and learning, and I was gravitating towards certain people. But eventually, after that pink cloud, say maybe 3-4 months into it, when I would go to bed at night, or I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my mind would start replaying all the things I had done, all the people I had hurt. And now, I can't run to the bottle to numb that feeling of pain. So what do? So finally, I had to get a sponsor, somebody a lot smarter than me that could walk me through the book. And he took me page by page, paragraph by paragraph, through the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And we met weekly, sometimes twice a week. And he was strict. But he was also very understanding and explained things in a way that I understood, which is a talent in itself. But my point is, I can relate to this final line here. Until we had talked with complete candor of our conflicts and listened to someone else do the same thing, we still didn't belong. Step 5 was the answer. It was the beginning of the true kinship with man and God. When I did my inventory and I did my step 5, I really felt like my life was changing. And I started feeling that peace. Like I finally let years and years of mistakes and selfish, self-centered behavior, I finally let it go. And I didn't have to drink anymore because I already felt that peace. I didn't need that phony alcohol, you know, that cheap milkshake when I could have a steak of sobriety, you know. It was indescribable, and it still continues to be. When I have to do the daily inventory, you know, step 10, it helps me stay current and content so that I can be of service to others and be okay with who I see in the mirror. And gosh, it's just a beautiful thing. But guys, I could go on and on and on. I wanted to talk about the other readings, but we're getting up on like 15, 16 minutes. I need to shut up now. But thank you so much for, you know, tolerating my rambling. And I want you to know that if you're sober today, you're a miracle. And those who love you are very proud of you. And if you're not sober, I want you to know that you're of value, that you're worthy of recovery, and your story's not done yet. So I pray that you would maybe make that first step toward change today, whatever that looks like. And you don't have to do it alone. There are so many resources out there. I always love the free Everything AA app. They've got the big book on there. They've got the daily reflections on there, Zoom meetings. You can go to a meeting at any time of the day, any day of the week, anywhere around the world. It's beautiful, and it's amazing what's out there, not to mention the in-person meetings in your local area. There are so many resources, but again, it all begins with a desire to stop drinking. So I pray that you get the help that you need today. And please know, as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I'm just a drunk. Just honestly, just honored to be here, reading these books. But if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely hope to see you right back here tomorrow.